Captain Roger here at Steve Turner Ace, Arlington and Fernandina. Come on everybody, you're welcome. It's been a little while. We're going to do a little seminar. We're going to talk about these unfair plastics that I've been talking about over and over again. And we're going to talk about this slipper jig. And if you can zoom in, these jigs have a flat, they're real flat, they're beveled. And what that does is when you have a bait, this is an 1/8 ounce, and they make them in quarter. And what it does is on the pause, it makes it wobble on the fall. In other words, when you have this bait rigged up, it will wobble on the fall, which is a slower fall. And anytime you can slow down that fall, that makes it more appetizing for redfish, trout, even flounder with this lure. Matched up with either, I like the smack shad or the smack tails, which is the smaller size. And what I'm doing with this plastic, first off on rigging, is I'm taking the hook and I'm coming in, I'm starting in straight. And before I start, right when I start to turn, I'll turn it. And I want to get it as straight as I can. Then when I get it to that point, I get me a little Gorilla Glue. And my favorite is Gorilla Glue. I like the gel or just the regular, 10 seconds. And I put a little drop. You see that? Right there. See that? Little drop. And then I take that plastic and I push it up. Okay, and I like it pretty straight. That's pretty good right there. Got a red and white. This is a great color, especially this time of year. These cold fronts are going to come pretty soon. That water temperature is going to drop. Red and white's been a great lure since I even started fishing. But the difference is, what I didn't have was a plastic that is so durable you can catch 35, 40 fish on one plastic, and then have a jig head like this, so on the fall it will wobble. So when I pause this lure, it kind of wobbles down, and then they look at it and all the way to the bottom. And another thing is, at the bottom, when it gets to the bottom, it doesn't lay flat like other plastics, it stands up. So that's another thing you gotta understand. So you get a lot of advantages, presentation advantages with this lure. Now, how I'm working this lure, I work it a number of ways, and that's why I like this lure. It's my favorite lure compared to a paddle tail or a curly tail. A paddle tail or curly tail, you pretty much got one action. You lift up, you get it swimming. And a lot of anglers out there are locked into that. They want it swimming and then they drop it. And you really don't get a lot on the twitching on those lures. It's more of a swim bait and drop and let it get on the bottom. And then when it falls, it lays flat. With this lure, with this jig head, I do the same thing. I'll swim it, I'll lift it up and swim it and don't do any twitches. I'll twitch it and it will dart around with that tail. It'll come around, or I'll dart it real fast. And then I'll stop it. And with that jig head, that slipper jig from Unfair Only, it will, on the pause, and we've heard 1,000 times me talk about hard baits and stuff, on the pause, that slight slower action will get you trigger more go and that's the key, getting more bites, getting more fish, hitting some of those community holes, even hitting your secret holes. But if you go behind somebody and throw something they're not throwing, you're gonna get bit. Those fish are gonna go, I ain't never seen that before, and before they know it, they're gonna be in the cooler. Like this cooler right here, a Yeti cooler, I'm sure everybody's got one. You can pick one of these up here at Ace Truth. So come by, see Glenn Shelton. He'll help you, walk you through rigging this lure, but this lure is ready. I can tie it on and catch 35 to 100. I've caught 100 trout on one rig plastic with the glue. You gotta rig it with the glue. Come here to Steve Turner Ace, only one Ace, right here, Steve Turner in Arlington. Come see Glenn Shelton, and we'll get more of these videos going on, because this is the time of year to go fishing. Have a great one, folks.